Okay, well, we are up to 11 people. I'm sure people will start to float in the next 5 minutes or so. It's Holly, if you could keep an eye on the participant window. And if you see anybody in the waiting room, go ahead and jump over there and let them in.
Will do.
All right. So welcome, everybody. This is our March meeting, and we're going to start on time. So obviously, I can see who's here now. We don't have any new people, but I do welcome those of you that came. Sponsors, if anybody watches the video, I would recommend going back to a previous month and you can hear everything we got to say about sponsors. But I got two things I want to talk about with the Greater New Brownsville Art Council and Digital Pro Lab. We'll do Digital Pro Lab first. March 26th from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. at the lab, which is on San Pedro. They're having a spring break shop the block party. They're going to have food trucks, drink trucks. They're going to have vendors there. They're going to have things they are trying to, sell. It'll just be a good time to get out there, socialize, if you're inclined to do so. Okay. The next item of business. Oh, okay. I guess I'm out of sync here as far as my head spacing. Social media sites. We have a website. This is the link to it. We have a Facebook page. This is the link to it. We have a meetup site. This is the link to it. We also have a YouTube channel. And I know all that URL stuff is kind of long and everything. The one that I would be concerned with, well, actually you can get it from the web page. There's links to the YouTube channel there. So, okay. It's time to talk about the minutes. As everybody knows, the minutes are posted prior to the meeting on the website, which gives you a chance to read them. So we have come to the moment where we need to approve the minutes. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes?
I approve the minutes.
Okay, I heard Ralph and I heard Frank. Was it Dennis or Frank?
Dennis.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we don't have Beverly's not here yet, is she? She can watch the video. Okay. So all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Are there any opposed? Okay. There are none. The minutes are approved. Okay, we move on to the treasurer's report. Sharon, our treasurer, will give us the report.
Okay, we started February with $2,746.76. We got membership of $144.33. The odd number is because someone who Venmo'd me their membership put on, when they did that, they entered that they were getting products in return. And so Venmo thinks it's a business. And so they took their 4% or whatever they take. So you don't need to do that business stuff. We're a not-for-profit anyway, but nonetheless, interest 17 cents. Total income was $144.50, left us with $2,891.26. Expenses, Digital Pro Labs, the promo codes cost us the $300. That's what we use for awards every month. And our membership in Greater New Braunfels Art Council is $60 for the year. So that's a total of $360 that we spent. So we're left with an ending balance of $2,000, $5,000, $2,000, $531.26. Early March, I deposited $90 in additional membership fees. That is not reflected here, but will be in the next report, and there are no outstanding checks. If there's any questions, I'll be glad to answer them.
Okay, thanks very much, Sharon.
Uh-huh.
Okay, club business. The first item for club business is the Greater New Brownsville Art Council. We got some couple of things to talk about with that. We had a Meet the Artist art mixer, okay, that was sponsored by the council, and we were asked to participate. We had 3 artists participate, Michael, Ralph, and Eric. I think the show went off really well. We pretty much had a wide wall to display quite a bit. And Ralph and Eric actually sold work. So it worked out really well. And we got a chance to interact with members of the community and share the word about the club. And everyone got to talk to the artist, and they got to share how they go about working in the medium that they work in. Okay. I think Michael, you got anything you want to share about the mixer? Okay, I guess not. Ralph, you got some thoughts about the mixer?
Well, it was interesting, and we got to, like you say, meet a lot of different people. And the German choir was interesting.
Yep. Okay. All righty. And I don't think Eric's here. Okay. All right. So I think we had a good time, and I think it'd be worthwhile if we get invited back to do it again. So for those of you that think you might like to participate in something like this, keep a few things handy and ready to go in case we get the word. Okay. All righty. All right. We are co-hosting with the Greater New Braunfels Art Council and the New Braunfels Library, the 2022, it's the actual title is Greater New Braunfels Youth Photography Contest and Exposition. This is some information about it. So it's open to middle and high school students in the Greater New Braunfels area, both homeschool and independent school districts. Okay. So if you've got grandkids, or if you got a middle school or high school student that you know has a photography book, you might want to share this information with them. There is a 4-page PDF that lists the dates, the submission requirements, an entry form, and hopefully we'll have a location on the web to where the PDF can be downloaded. Okay. The contest is free. We're going to give awards for best in show, and then first, second, third, and honorable mention in each category. And there's 6 categories. So hopefully we don't have a board meeting until April, but Holly, I need to get with you to see if there's somewhere we can put it on the website and link it to the PDF that can be downloaded like we do we can do the minutes.
Yeah, I'll just put it in where we have all the events on that tab where it has it listed. I'll just hot link it there.
That'd be awesome. Did I send that 4-page form to you yet?
Yes, you have.
Okay, so yeah, if you could put it there, once I see it there, I'll create a QR code for the flyer that Digital Pro Lab's going to do for us. That will take them right to that spot.
Perfect.
Okay. All righty. Well, let me go back. All right. This is a let's see. Give me just a second here. I see we got people in the waiting room. Okay. Okay. This event, I'm going to need some volunteer help with it. Okay. So if when we do, I'm going to reach out to a couple of people that told me they would volunteer when we were going to try to do it in the fall into art, and see if they're still on board or if circumstances have changed. But if you would like to help with this event, please send me an email as soon as you can, okay? Because this is going to take some hands on the ground work to pull off, okay? Okay, PSA Uniclub competition, and our PSA rep is Dennis, and he will bring us up to speed on what's going on in PSA.
Okay, well, the third round of this year's interclub competition is in April, and I need to have anybody who wants to send a picture to the selection committee to be considered for the competition needs to get it to me in the next few days, because the 20th of March is the cutoff. After that, and we'll consider pictures that club members want to submit. We'll consider pictures that got 9s from the PSA judges, and pictures that won, the monthly contest. So I need to get those. If you have a picture that you want to enter, I need to get it in the next couple days. The competition is very simple. It's anything goes competition. You can make anything you want in Photoshop. It can be color, black and white, dual tone, whatever, as long as it's a JPEG photo that you've taken. But you need to get it to me by the 20th of March, which is only a few more days away. That's it.
Okay, we got another slide here, Dennis.
Oh, okay. Oh, I didn't know. Okay, good. Oh, these were, yeah, all right. These were the people that submitted for round 2, and these are the scores that they got for round 2.
Okay, and there's one more, Dennis.
Oops, all right. Oh yeah, the February photos were judged by Gary Potts of PSA. He's one of the better judges they have, actually, and does a lot of international competitions. So I think we got some good feedback from him. And I believe the pictures were up on the website, right, Holly? I think I saw them up there.
Yes.
And the scores and everything. Comment.
Well, yes, for February, the assignment photos have all of the scores and comments
Right.
in the album on Facebook. Yes.
Right. And the March, I sent the photos in for March. the PSA judge for March is from Sri Lanka, and hopefully we'll get those back in the next couple of weeks. It'd be nice if we got them back before the 20th so we could include any 9s in there, but we'll see. It depends on the judge. He's got up to 30 days to send it back to us.
Okay, so Dennis, you need volunteers for the selection committee?
Yeah, I was going to actually get a hold of Holly and you and talk about that. But yeah, we need at least 3 judges for the selection committee, which would meet. Well, if I get I'll have all the pictures on the 20th. I'll put them in a folder and send them out to whoever the selection committee people are. They can pick their 6 that they would like to think ought to be presented to PSA, and then we can get together as a selection committee and go over all of those and pick the finals and send them to PSA. They have to be at PSA before the 15th of April.
Okay, so somewhere between the 20th and.
Yeah, it'd be nice if we did it by the 1st, if we could, because if there's somebody in there who hasn't filled out a PSA sheet that gives PSA permission to use their photos and put it on their website, I have to be able to get that done and get that loaded up on the PSA website. So that, it would be nice if we could have the selection committee meet right around the 1st of April. That would be good.
Okay. So Holly, since you manage the email account, could you send out a mass email to the membership to ask for volunteers to be on the selection committee?
Of course.
And then if you get any replies, send them to Dennis, and then Dennis can coordinate that. Okay.
You got it.
Okay, great.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. Thanks, Dennis.
Yeah.
Wow. I don't know what happened. I think went way too good. Yeah. Okay. But okay, good. Is Daryl here?
I don't see him in the participant list tonight.
Okay,
They've
then.
been having trouble getting into his Zoom account, I think.
Okay.
That's what happened with Beverly also.
Okay. I will have to work those issues out. These security protocols that we put in place to try to make sure we didn't get bombed like we did in December. We either live with them and work through the issues of getting in, or we take them off and run the risk of getting bombed again. So,
I think that Zoom did a big update last month and like forced logged everybody out. So everybody had to log back into their account. And if they hadn't done that since the beginning, I think that's where the technical issue is happening.
Okay. That, yeah, well, that sounds right. Okay. So, hey, Ralph, can you take care of this next slide for us?
Okay, let's see. Okay, the wonders of the water. See, that'll be just a theme for that next display that we got coming up. But right now we've got a show for the high school kids. So that'll be there for a while until sometime in May, I could see. If you want to be a participant or to be able to bring in your artwork, you have to come in on a jury day, which is June 4th. And there's the link. So you'll get out the information there. That's about all there is.
Okay. Thanks, Ralph. And Holly, back to you. Do you have the ability to make QR codes?
I do not know how to do that.
Okay.
I can figure it out though. I'm sure there is a YouTube on how to do it.
Well, I was thinking, this URL for this Wonders of Water and Jury Day is really long. Okay. And people still go to the website, hunt and peck and try to find it. I was thinking if we had a QR code up there with just the date,
Mhm.
people could take their cell phone and hold it up to the screen of their computer and it would just pop up on their phone.
That would
Just
be
like,
easy.
yeah, just like when we go to a restaurant and
Mhm.
scan a QR code for the menu. So,
Does that work for my flip phone? Just kidding.
it'll work for your shoe phone. Okay. All right. And Holly, if you'll take the next slide.
Amanda Smith Gallery in Johnson City. It has 2 open calls for entry right now for trees due April 4th and for she due May 16th.
All righty. Okay. Open discussion. And since I've got the mic, I'm going to go first. Okay. I want to talk about PSA monthly critiques. All right. We've gotten feedback and we've had some discussion, but we haven't come to a clear, definite decision. So I'd like to take about maybe 10 minutes tonight, 15 max, okay, to hear what you, the membership, feel about the PSA critiques. Now, I will tell you that our way of doing business in the past was to submit all the way up to 30 photos. And if I included all 3 categories, then it included all 3 categories. And Holly puts it up on Facebook and puts the critiques out there for people to see. Okay. And some of the constructive feedback we got was that, well, people put their most work into the assignment photo and they just then go look for a color photo and a black and white photo that maybe they haven't done any work on to throw it in to take part in the activity. Okay. So what we want to know, okay, when I say we, the board, because the board is going to take this issue up for at the next board meeting and come up with a final resolution to it. How do you feel about that? Do you just want your assignment photo critiqued? Okay. Or are you okay with all 3 photos? And so there's a couple of options here. We could, well, I'm not going to say those options. I want to hear what you have to say. I don't want to put things out there and plant a seed yet. Okay. I want to hear what you as the membership has to say on this issue, so that the board can make a better decision with the information that we have to work with. Okay. So I don't have a gallery view because I've got the slideshow up. So what I need is, I need a traffic cop. Holly, can you, are you able to open up a gallery view or are you frozen because you're recording?
I think I can do a gallery view. Let me see how many people I can see. Yes, I can see everybody.
Okay, great. Then could you just go across the first row and drop down the second and get everybody's feedback?
Sure. Ralph, do you have any input on how we should be sharing critique?
Well, I think at least the assignments, And if there's any left over, well, then you could be a judge what would be selected. And are we worried about the quality of the critique?
Hey, don't worry about what anybody's worried about, Ralph. We just want to hear what you want. Okay, so just share your feelings, okay, on how you feel about you and your photography.
Well, they can critique all they want. It's a good thing to get a different point of view. So as many as I can get in there to be critiqued, all the better.
Thank you. Sharon, how do you feel about what things are shared?
I have mixed feelings. I have to admit that I'm lucky to get an assignment picture done every month. I certainly don't get a new black and white made every month, except I go into Photoshop and make one. And so I would say that I don't think my best work is in those, necessarily. Some months they are, some months they aren't, in the color or the black and white. When we started and we talked about we'd send the black and white one month and the color the next month, I knew where to put my effort and felt that worked better for me. But I doesn't, whatever the club wants to do, I guess I'll be fine with.
Thank you. Dennis, what are your thoughts?
As far as I'm concerned, I don't have any problem with putting all of them in. I need critiques on my photos. So, but the one thing I will say is that PSA is reluctant to have one of the judges critique. If we only have like 5 or 6 photos, they're reluctant to do that. So it would be useful. Probably we should have at least 10 photos that we send in if we're going to do this. And we don't always, like this time, I don't think we had 10 photos in the assignment pictures. So.
Thank you. Anthony?
I'm fine with everything going in. Personally, I'm fine with everything going in. I can't speak for anybody. I'm fine with everything going in there. And yeah, so I'll just leave it at that. I'm fine with everything.
Thank you, Anthony. Suzanne?
Since I'm new to this organization and I have yet to submit anything, so this is the first meeting I've attended, I think I'm going to pass on making a comment.
Thank you. Everyone, welcome. We have 3 guests tonight, I believe. Suzanne, Kara, and I think we might have lost our other lady. We did have a 3rd guest here, but welcome. We're glad to see you.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Suzanne Packard, do you have any input?
I would like to have as many images judged as possible. I feel I learn from the feedback.
Thank you. Brian? Oh, you're muted, honey.
Let me unmute. Okay. Here we go. Let me turn off something here. So I'm getting feedback. Okay. I would hope that we would send in as many images to be critiqued, because I get it's very helpful to me for PSA to it's very helpful for me with what the PSA judges have to say, because I'm always interested in another person's viewpoint. It helps my photography and helps me grow in my photography. So I would hope we would continue.
Thank you. James.
Well, I would think that, or I'd hope that everybody is submitting, things that they're proud of and things that they would like to have critiqued, in addition to the assignments. And that's what I do. So I would say, let's submit as much as we can. I guess if there's something that I'm not all that excited about, but I want to submit it anyway, then I might say, don't send this one in for a critique. But otherwise, I would assume that everybody is interested in that.
Wonderful, thank you. Denise. You're muted, Denise. You're muted, honey.
Okay, can you hear me?
We can, thank you.
Okay, I'm sorry about that. I'm a fairly new member and haven't submitted anything either at this point, so I've never been privy to the critique. And I haven't even been in enough meetings, I don't feel, to have seen what that means. So I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna say anything about it right now, just listen.
Okay, thank you. Michael?
Okay, first off, is my microphone actually working this time?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Well, I've been a member for a little while, but due to my own laziness, I haven't even submitted any photos. So I probably don't have a lot of room to talk here, but I would just say personally, if I submitted an image, I would just assume automatically it's being critiqued by somebody. That's just my personal opinion. I'll just assume if it's there, somebody's going to give me some feedback on it, one way or the other. That's kind of how I stand with it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Frank?
My purpose for being in the club is to improve the quality of my photography. And so I'll take any feedback that I can get. I appreciate the feedback that I get from the judges. I also read everybody else's feedback too, and I learn from that feedback. So I value the feedback. I value sending in every one of the photos that we possibly can.
Awesome, thank you. Patricia?
I enjoy having the critiques. I'm sure one of these days I'm going to get my throat ripped out, but so far so good. I think that actually I struggle more with the assignments to have, quote, a quality product. And if I don't, then I won't submit that month, because that's the one thing that it's tied together. If you don't submit an assignment image, you can't do the other two. And this month was a toughie. Strangely enough, I had more trouble with this month than I have anything up to this time. So I guess if I don't have something that I feel is quality to be judged, I simply won't submit anything.
That makes sense. And just to be clear, if you do not have to submit an assignment image, you can still submit a black and white and color if you want those looked at, or feedback from the club or from judges.
Well, good. Thank you.
You can send in just a color or just a black and white. You don't have to do all three.
That's good to know. Thank you, Holly.
I'm sorry, it's not clearer. We will make that more clear in the future. Thank you. And last, well, we have another guest, Kara, which I'm presuming she probably wouldn't want to contribute anything to this particular discussion since she's our new guest tonight. So last will be Tony. Tony, do you have any thoughts on this?
Yes, I would agree with several that said the more critiques we can get, the better. And I like the way Frank said it. We can learn from the other critiques as well as ours. So I would agree with that.
Okay, that's everybody, Victor.
I have one quick question. So for the ones that are not the assignment photo, the color and the black and white, they can be of anything and from any time point?
Yes, that's correct.
Very cool. Okay, thanks.
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted to just chime in one thing. There was a few comments about the ones for the color and the black and white are not their best work. They just, look around and put something in there. Well, then I kind of wonder, should those even go forward? Because if it's not if the photographer, the artist is not putting the best work forward to the, and submitting the color of the black and white, should they be judged? Does that make sense?
Yeah, the only problem with that is that puts an extra burden on going through the photos and eliminating things. It's not a big job, and I could do it, but I'd have to know for sure. Who's going to judge what those photos are? And
Right. Well, that's when it can come back to the point, like on the PowerPoint here, that only the assignment images get sent forward, and maybe what as a club we could focus on is getting people like Michael Osborne. I'll say that only because he's a friend of mine, my best friend, but is getting those people who are not submitting images to start.
That comes back, Anthony, though, to not enough pictures. I think that was the bigger concern, that you'd get no judging done.
Right, and that's what I was trying to say, Patricia, is that people like Michael who hasn't submitted an image, well, why has he not submitted an image? And maybe it's just focused on wildlife and not on food photography. But what I'm saying is, with all of our members, more than just the 15 of us that are on here, we could do some outreach to figure out what we could do to get more photos submitted. And maybe just a thought, versus submitting images that are, people are just throwing together, kind of. All right, that's enough. I'm not saying anymore. Okay.
Okay, thanks for the input, Anthony. Like I said earlier, the board is going to address this issue at the next board meeting and come up with a consensus. And see, it's April. So moving forward in May, we may have a completely different way of doing things, or we'll continue to do things the way we've been doing it. We'll have to wait and see. Okay. But thanks to everyone that gave your feedback. It's valued, and we will take it under advisement at the next board meeting. Okay, well, it's time to review the photos, and the assignment this month was food. Okay. So each photographer has 2 minutes to tell us about your photo, but due to the number of photos we have, we may be able to extend that, a little bit longer. We really would like to hear about the thought process you went through, the setup, the development, even the post-processing, if you want to get into that. Okay. Okay, so the assignment photos. Okay, Beverly's not here. You can see the metadata at the bottom. So if that helps you any, good. But since Beverly's not here to tell us about it, I'm gonna go ahead and, did anyone have anything they would like to share with Beverly about the photo? Okay, because she could watch the video after Holly posts the video. Okay.
I've got one comment that she could have perhaps used a little fill light to fill in the harsh shadows. I mean, it wasn't bad, but it's just like a portrait. You've got more than one light sometimes if you want to do a product shot, especially. That's about the only thing I would mention.
Okay, anybody else?
I think the arrangement's very nice.
That's exactly what I was going to say, Patricia. Good job. You take it and run.
I like the composition. Colors are very sharp and very, I think, effective with the cookies. The yellow and the butterflies and color in the cookies.
You're just hungry.
It's just not quite bright enough. It's not, I would have, the exposure's not quite right. But I do want to eat one of those cookies. Looks really good.
Well, just because that broken cookie is just on my nerves.
Okay,
Yeah, that's me, I would have kind of fixed that crack in it. But I mean, you know, it's realistic. That's the way it would be, I mean, so anyway, funny.
okay. All righty. Cheesecake Time by Albert. Is Albert with us?
No, he is
No.
not.
Okay. Okay, well, once again, you can see the metadata at the bottom. Okay. I'm going to open it up to the floor for any feedback.
Well, the color seems to be a little warm, but that just tastes, it's not quite as true as it could have been. But again, I like to make things a little bit warmer myself.
I would like to see the strawberries, all of those strawberries in focus. And it's a really strong, I like the 3 strawberries up and 3 strawberries down. It's cute. But that would be my only critique, would be either focus stack or use a tighter aperture.
I agree, Holly. And then does it appear to anyone else that there was maybe a purple gel put on the backside?
Yeah, I believe you're right.
I think there was a purple gel put on there, and I'm not sure. It just didn't look, I don't know how to describe it. It just doesn't look as good as I think it could if it was without the purple gel. Maybe a different color gel. The purple is just a distraction to me, I guess I should say. But I do like it.
You do like what?
And it's like strawberries, so I like it.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Now, you mentioned that it wasn't quite sharp. I don't know, that seems pretty sharp to me. I mean, it's not obviously soft, but maybe it could have been a tad sharper. But
Okay, thanks, Ralph. Okay.
I did a lot of research on food photography, and I read somewhere that soup was the easiest item to photograph. So I went with soup. There's a little bowl underneath to give support to the little ring of cheese that's on top there, and the parsley. The thing that gave me the most difficulties was the spoon, because I polished it and it turned into a mirror.
Yeah.
So I had to be really careful with the spoon.
yeah, you can get some matte spray for that.
Well, I was running a little late on the submission, so I didn't have extra time to, but yeah, I guess I could have gotten some matte spray. Yeah.
I did a lot of food shooting at a Chinese restaurant a year and a half, 2 years back. I would have liked to have submitted that, but I would have to take off my EXIF data. But that's a good image all around.
Okay, Suzanne, I'm going to share with you and everyone else the process we have for tiebreakers. Okay, as president, I get the final vote in a tiebreaker. Okay, and so I don't vote. The only time I ever vote is to break a tie. And I don't look at the photos until Holly tells me we have a winner. And when she tells me we have a winner, then I go to the webpage and I look at the photos, because I don't want to look at them before there may be a possibility for a tiebreaker. And it's only happened, I think this is like the 3rd time in the, well, I was president for 2 years, and then this term here. Okay, so this month we had a tie, and yours was one of them. Okay, now I will tell you Holly sends me the 2 photos. She doesn't tell me who they belong to. And I look at one, I say, oh, that's a nice photo. I like that a lot. And then I look at the other one. Oh, that's a nice photo too. I like that a lot. So I have to look for things for me to decide which one I think kind of goes up to another level. And I will share with you, obviously, since I'm telling you that you tied, you ended up in second place. Okay.
Okay.
You're not the winner, and the reason I chose the other photo over yours is when I look at this photo, I see things that are distracting to me. And I thought a little more preparation for a cleaner presentation. And I'll show you what I'm talking about. You see this looks like a thread to me. Right here.
Well, it's supposed to be, yeah, a marble.
Oh, is that what that is?
Yeah, kind of a
Oh,
marble countertop.
okay. Well, didn't know that. And I thought it was threads coming off the mat.
It's still a distractor either way.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I think it's an outstanding image. And if that was marble, I still would have used the clone tool and cloned that out and made it black. Okay.
Okay.
I think that's solid back because it just pulls the eye away from what the meat of the photograph to me is. But it's still a strong image. Okay. And like I said, you tied this month. Okay. So congratulations. It was a very strong image. Yeah.
Okay. Because that's just a board. It's not really marble, but yeah, I was just trying to, something that would look like a countertop. So I went with that one.
Okay. Okay. All
I
right.
do appreciate that feedback. I really do, because the spoon was giving me all kinds of problems, and I think that was probably my biggest distraction on everything else, because I had to be really careful because, I know where I can see where my tripod and camera is in the spoon, and so that spent a lot of energy with that spoon.
Hey, Susan, just put the spoon in the soup next time.
I probably should have just done that. Yeah. But thank you.
I do have one more comment, Susan. I see you shot this with a Canon Rebel. Are you not shooting Sony anymore?
I didn't have a lens that would work well.
Okay. Okay. All right. Okay.
I still have my Sony. I just didn't have a lens for it.
Okay. All right. Still, Canon's still an excellent camera, and you got really good results with it. Okay. All right. All right. Food for thought by Tony. No metadata, so hopefully Tony's here, right?
I'm here. Yes, sir.
Okay. Please share a lot.
Okay. So I lost the metadata for the picture to send over when I used the program I used to work on the photo. So to the best of my recollection, it was f8 at 1/4 of a second, and I think it was either 100 or 250 ISO. It was handheld, but the picture I had started a similar photo and just kind of working with textures and stuff like that. And I really like black and white. So I was trying to find something, and I used that same setup for this food picture, and used, my wife gets credit for the title and that. So I was just trying to play with some things that had a lot of different textures and coloring, and see how well I could do with getting as many of those together without being distracting. And the difficulty I had was the photo that I had in the camera, and when I transferred it over to work on it, it didn't look quite the same. Some areas that, although it might not look like it, that I did lighten up were underneath the plate on the left-hand side, and in the back corner or the left-hand corner of the curtain. It had a better look in camera when I was looking at my camera screen than what I was able to accomplish when I brought it all over.
Okay, Tony, the louvered, I mean, the light, the window in the background, that doesn't help you any in this because it's so bright, it pulls the eye away.
Okay.
If you had cropped it just to the top of the sofa, it would have been more effective, I think.
Okay.
I like your image though, and the thought especially.
Yeah, I was just kind of thinking about a lot of things that are going on, plus our assignment and that, and kind of tried to pull them together.
Yeah.
Okay.
Throw a plug in for Naglins in there too.
Anybody else got any comments?
I want to make one comment first. It's nice to see the photo, you know, it's appreciated that you put a photo in. The one thing that's kind of got me, I can't get off of it, is the very slight slant of the image. If you look at the side of the cup and the window, they're almost parallel. If that could be tilted maybe 2 degrees to the left, does everybody see what I'm talking about?
Right, I saw that.
So that the side of the cup and the window are straight up and down. I don't know if that's a big deal, but you know, it's kind of bothering my eye, so I thought
Okay, appreciate that.
Sometimes an angle can be used to add dynamics, and sometimes it can be distracting. So the author has to make a choice sometimes, and sometimes you just don't notice it.
Well put, Ralph. Okay, thanks, Tony.
You're welcome.
Okay, Marshmallows and Hot Cocoa by Brian.
Okay. It's kind of warm for a spring day treat, but this was taken back in February, and I just made some cocoa and threw in some marshmallows and said, by golly, I'm going to photograph that. So I was almost vertical over the image. The light is coming in from a window, and I was trying to use the, I guess you call it the shadows or the pattern as a background and around the rim of the cup. Other than that, you know, it's pretty simple and straightforward image. So any comments will be appreciated.
Yeah, you should use white marshmallows next time.
Believe it or not, I did add white to the marshmallows, and I can see on the screen that they're kind of brownish. Yuck.
Did you stir that up?
No, it's right out of the Keurig.
Brian, would you ever consider moving the cup farther up in the left-hand corner so that nice large shadow down below could be a little more cup-like? Probably too much of an angle of light for that.
Yes.
Carol, I agree. I think I would love to have seen the entire shadow of that coffee cup.
Okay, good point.
Brian, did you crop it and take some of that shadow off? Because the ratio looks more square than it does 3x2.
I know I cropped it square. I'm not sure if the entire cup is.
Yeah, you may not have took anything off the bottom, just cropped it in from the left or the right.
I'm trying to, as we speak, look at the original. But
Okay.
knowing me, I have a tendency to crop in tight.
Okay.
And yeah, I'm looking at the original, you would see a little bit more of the cup, but the way the light is hitting the cup, I'm looking at the original, the entire cup is not shown.
Okay.
But that's a good point for a redo.
Food for thought. Okay.
I'm sorry.
Good one, Victor.
All right. Thanks, Brian.
You bet. Thank y'all.
Okay. Okay. Holly, you're up.
My pentamerous purple peeps. You know what pentamerous means is divided into 5 parts. I love alliterative titles, so I was really proud of that.
You had me guessing. Good to hear that.
Anyway, it's Easter candy in the stores, and I just thought they were cute purple peeps. So I thought I would try to make them my subject and set it up on a little stand on my pool table, put some glittery gold ferny stuff that I have as decorative stuff as background to kind of give it that gold bokeh. And this is 5 images stacked to try to get most of it in focus. I know there's a little bit of the foreground nest stuff that's out of focus, but I tried to get all the peep parts in focus. I'm happy for some feedback. It feels a little crooked to me, but I think that they were just a little uneven, the peeps themselves. Any feedback?
I really thought this was clever how you did this. I really like the picture.
Thank you.
Being peeps, you can't get them to be even. You never know how they're going to react.
They might start a revolt.
I like the image too, Holly. The only thing I might have looked at doing, instead of using the purple nest, I'll call it, a different color, maybe a darker green or something, so that the purple of the peeps would stand out a little bit more.
More contrast.
Yeah, a little bit more contrast. It looks a little bit muddled, I guess.
Too monochromatic. Yeah, and I think that the nest that just coming up just a little bit behind the peeps is a little distracting because it's kind of bokeh out, but you could still see these little lines of purple kind of coming out of their heads. I didn't catch that till just now either. Yeah, a different color would be good. That'd be easy to change in Photoshop.
I just have one other question, I guess. How many did you eat while you were doing it?
I only ate one. I was so proud of myself.
Good. More
only one. And then I took them to my mom's house. My mom loves them. She puts them in her toaster oven on a graham cracker. And that little bit the piece of chocolate.
There's some chocolate.
Yeah.
My. Okay. Thanks, Holly and everybody. Okay. Red, white, and blue, and chocolate. Anthony, tell us all about it.
Well, you would not believe how much time I spent on this image. Not because I made the original concept was to make chocolate boxes, and so oh gosh, you just can imagine. So I tried to make the chocolate boxes, and they broke, and they weren't level, and I was trying to use a little cream brulee torch. So it was just a mess. So that all went in the trash can. And, I made these little chocolate cups, and put berries in there, and that's the white stuff in the bottom of the one on the left and on the one right. Actually, it's Crisco mixed with some powdered sugar, and then all the berries are on little pieces of toothpick to stick in there to stand up like that. And the milk, wanted to get the bubbles with the milk in there, and of course Google, and you can find everything. So I added some dish soap to the milk, and that created the bubbles when I stirred it up. Got the bubbles in there. And the background was another challenge. I was using, I tried several different backgrounds with some different textures and stuff, and nothing just looked right. So then that's when I just switched over to the black one, and that worked out. Might be a little bit, I had a light on camera left, and I had a light on camera right, and the one on the right was a little bit, I was just trying to light up a little bit that the wood that's there and the back of that right cupcake or whatever you want to call it. But the it was probably a little bit overpowering because it created some shadows on the other side.
No, your shadows had plenty of detail in them.
Yeah. And there's some things I could have, as I look at it, I was thinking about it. There was some thought about taking like the milk and moving it a little bit further back, or one of the some of the berries and the little chocolate cupcakes in the back, and move these back a little bit so they would be slightly out of focus. And I did do that, but then I wanted everything in focus, so I just brought it up and did it that way. So that was it.
It's a super strong image. It looks great.
Well, thank you. And that was shot with the 24-120 f4 Nikon lens, and I had a close-up filter on it. So yeah.
Knowing how much of a perfectionist you are, Anthony, how long did it take you to get that shot?
It was hours. It was 2 days. I mean, I didn't work on all 2 days, but it took me just 2 days because the first time the chocolate was all messed up. That was the big. I went through so much chocolate, and unlike you, Holly, I ate a lot of the chocolate. I was just eating those.
You can eat your mistakes.
You threw away a lot of things that you ate it instead of throw it away.
Well, I threw away the chocolate that was making that I made the stuff out of because I had put Crisco in it and stuff to make it shine a little bit. But the chocolate wafers, I probably ate a bag of those by myself. So there you go. But any feedback or comments or critiques would be greatly appreciated.
You might have made it more complicated than you really needed. Simplicity is always better.
I agree, Rob. Yeah, but I was thinking about that, and then I thought, damn it, I made all these things, I put it together. They're going to go in this photograph. That's all I'm.
Could have went in your belly.
Anyone else? Comments?
Anthony, the only thing I would think about, and not that it's a really great photo, okay? And I think if I was going to do something like that, I would also do something to where I would bring the chocolate cups that you have
right
in a little closer and make the shot a little tighter.
Okay.
Just an idea, but because it seems like with everything spread out the way it is, I'm just darting back and forth from left to right, right to left. Okay, you got the two blueberries and a little raspberry over there on the left, and then we got all this here in the center. But it's
I think that's
we got 17 people in the room, and I think all the 16, the rest of us, the 16 of us, you could tell us what was in the picture, and we would put it together, and we'd probably come up with 16 different pictures, and but they'd all have the chocolate cups and the fruit and the milk and stuff like that. So it's a really nice photo, and the fact that you put so much effort into it is really appreciated.
Thank you.
All right. Okay, Dennis.
Well, this is a birthday cake, obviously. The idea was to make it look like it looked the day after the party, and I wanted it kind of look like the guy who had a little bit too much to drink the night before and got up, and it felt a little grungy. And so I, made it black and white and then played around with a filter to sort of give it, that feel.
I think this is one of the few submissions I sent that told a story. I loved it.
Yeah, it's a pretty nice job. Way to go.
I liked how it kind of looks antique-ish, the morning after, and yeah, it does tell a story.
I think I would have preferred if the glass were off of not so close to the cake, a little further off of it so you could see it better.
Yeah.
But it does tell a story, most definitely.
Yeah, that dark space on the right, I would either take it out or I'd fill it up with something like maybe some empty bottles
You
or.
mean in the wine glass? I don't know.
No, right to the cake.
Oh,
The
over
bottle
here.
of wine there.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Right. Okay.
It must
that
have been a
again.
small party because not much of the cake is gone.
Well, that was a big cake.
It was a heavy drink, maybe.
Yeah.
I think just those two elements would be good if the glass was just moved off a little bit by itself.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Thanks, everybody. Thank you, Dennis.
Yeah.
Okay, Eric, is Eric here with us tonight?
He is not here.
Okay. Tower of Chocolate by Eric Barber. Okay. Well, you can see the metadata. Please share any feedback or comments you have on this one.
I enjoy the texture, both in the wood and the chocolate. There's quite a lot of it. And it's very simplistic, which I also like.
This guy has a real talent for taking something very simple and making it very attractive.
Yes, he does.
Yeah. Time and again.
I think I would have cropped it a little bit closer to the base.
Okay.
That's my only thought. Just bring up the base a little bit closer.
Daryl, you got any suggestions for Eric?
I think Ralph has an interesting point there. There's a lot of black area up above. For what reason, I'm not sure. That's the only thing I don't know what to say about it, other than that it's kind of nagging me.
So just think about if any of us ever get a contract to shoot a magazine cover, then you have to leave room at the top for the magazine, the name, and you have to leave room on the side or the bottom for the stories and all that to get your attention. So the way it's framed is perfect for a magazine cover.
I agree.
That's a good one.
Great point, Frank. Okay. Okay. Eric can take that and go with it when he watches the video, I hope. Okay. Ed, what came first, the avocado or the egg? Is he here with us?
No, he is not attending this evening.
Okay. All right, man, there's no metadata. So so whoever would like to share first, go ahead.
I think it's a clever idea to swap out the yolk and the seed.
Yeah.
It just gives you a little pause to go, what is this guy thinking? It's kind of interesting in a way.
Yes, yes. Lots of texture.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Ralph and Patricia. Okay, what's cooking by Patricia? Tell us all about it, Patricia.
My only struggle was trying to decide what to shoot. I had a cupcake and a pear, and I tried mixing fruit and vegetables, and that didn't work. Trying to get a balance that I liked the way it looked, and I wanted to work in a knife, but I was not successful like Ed, so here we are.
I like the composition and the color and the pastel. I think it works exceedingly well.
Thank you.
I like the simplicity of it, and I really like that you left I don't know, the onion peel there on the side. I really like how that, I think it really adds to the picture.
Thank you.
How did you light this?
Truthfully, I have a lot of natural light in my kitchen, and I had a fluorescent light up above, and I said if I put more light on it, I'll have a whole lot more glare, almost hot spots. So it was natural light plus an overhead fluorescent, no artificial lighting as far as you know, a softbox or any kind of thing like that.
Okay, thank you. I like it.
Thank you.
Patricia, did that red pepper have a stem on it like the yellow one?
Actually, no, it lost its little stem. Sorry.
No, I was thinking that stem is really cool. If it did, maybe it had both of the stems showing, but it's really cool that way too.
Thank you.
It might have been good if you had sort of leaned that red pepper up against the two other objects. Would have been useful.
Okay.
Yeah.
That red is so powerful. I think it's in the right place because it's that red is heavy. Not really. I think it's a great composition. I like the flow down the upper left-hand corner, down through that wrapping and out to the green stem. Yeah, I think that was a great composition. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, everybody. Thank you, Patricia. Okay, and we have our winner, okay, which is Eric. He's not here, so Sharon will send him the code. Hey, Sharon.
Yes, sir.
Hold that code for a while. All right, Eric, this is a message. Reach out to Sharon to get your code. I want to see if he watches the video.
That's sneaky.
Give him about 7 to 10 days. If you don't hear from him, send him the code. I'm just kidding, Sharon. But I had a great time at the art mixer. At the art mixer was the first time I got to meet Eric in person. And had a good time and good conversation with him while we were there. Okay, so hopefully, and on that note, the reason it's the first time I've met him in person is because we've been Zooming for, I forget how long we've been Zooming, but well, this is March. I guess we've been Zooming a full 2 years because I'm pretty sure our first one was April because we closed that, we got shut down in March. So we've been Zooming for 2 years. So I'll let everybody know right now, this is my thought process. we tried to go back to the library and we got some participation, but not full participation. People still expressed concerns and was not comfortable coming out to the library. So our next attempt to get back into the library is going to be when I've decided that when the government drops the requirement to wear a mask on transportation conveyance, like the railroad, airplanes and stuff like that. When TSA drops that requirement, I'm going to try to get us back into the library. We'll still continue to Zoom from the library, but the 2 times that we tried it, those of you that watched the Zoom know that there was some hiccups with it, in that you were Zooming, you couldn't hear the comments from everybody that was in the library. So we'll try to, work those bugs out and figure out how we can do it. But I think once the government drops that mandate to wear a mask on public transportation, we really need to get back in the library, because I think Zooming for as long as we have has also caused our numbers to start to drop. At first year, our numbers just like doubled. Okay. But the second year feels like it's starting to drag on, and I think people are starting to lose interest. Okay. And I feel like everybody is getting out in their own way and trying to be safe as they can in what is comfortable for them. And I think that's great. Okay. Because obviously, the food photography, everybody shot everything inside, but we're going to have other assignments that's going to require you to get outside. So, okay. Moving on to black and white. Okay, let's see. Okay, Dennis, you're up.
Yeah, this is a picture I took in Havana, and I liked it because I think it really feels like Havana. If you've been there, the whole city needs a new coat of paint, and a lot of the old buildings are a bit decrepit, and you have the old cars. So I think it's a good representation and feeling about the city.
Okay, any feedback?
I would have to agree with him. He's really got the feel of it, the look. Yeah.
Yeah, I like the way you edited it. Make it really dramatic. It really brings out the old textures. You got some shine on the car, but some areas are not as shiny, which is perfect for an old car like that. And the movement of the car kind of turning the corner feels like a little action in the image. It's really strong. I think the only suggestion I would have is maybe to clone out the white line that's coming down across the bottom left across the road. Since
I was just looking at that.
It's sort of patchy and sort of leads your eye to nowhere. So I might take that out.
Yeah.
I think it's really strong.
I really like this picture.
Yeah, I like the vignette. That's nice.
Yep, can't go wrong with a vignette.
I really like the line on the road. I feel like I understand what you mean, but the road is so perfect looking. I think it helps with the continuity of the picture, the kind of the oldness of the town. It shows you the oldness of the paint in the road. And I think it's consistent with the rest of the picture.
Yeah, he could have just toned it down a little bit, but yeah, I think you're right.
No, thanks.
Okay, thanks, Dennis. And Beverly's not here with us, so any feedback you want to offer to Beverly?
I really like this one. I love the drama it almost makes the angels look like they're alive to me. You know, they're not as stone looking, I guess, because of the background behind them. And there's so much definition around them. They almost look like they're heralding at the same exact time, but they're alive.
Yeah, one thing, she was very lucky to catch the light, just the perfectly right angle, so that they're lit and the support is not really lit up much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the exposure. The sky looks great. There's detail in the highlights, detail in shadows, just nailed it.
Yeah, that too.
It's very pretty. It's very different.
Okay, thanks, guys. I'm sure Beverly will appreciate your comments. Okay, and Eric's not here. So what feedback do you have for Eric?
Interesting shapes. I think it's pretty good, actually.
It's pretty cool how the image is very simple on the left corner. And as you move into the right corner, it gets much more complex with the stems crossing each other. Pretty cool.
Good point.
That crossing of the stems are probably the subject matter of this composition. And it's relegated to kind of a bad place, I think, in the composition. I keep trying to move over to so I can see a little bit more of them, but I would have pushed it a little bit more to the left for the subject matter.
Yeah, I agree.
I agree, Daryl. It even maybe come in real tight on that and let us try and figure out what those fruits are if we're just looking at the stems.
Okay, I'm sure I appreciate your feedback. Okay, let's see here. And Albert's not here. Okay, and there's no metadata available. So who would like to share feedback for Albert?
Just too many chilies on there.
I would ask him how he processed it, because it looks like maybe an action or a filter, because the blacks aren't truly black. At least it appears that to me. It's interesting. I think this is from Lucy Cooper's, because I think they have something called Tin Can Nachos. I've only gotten to go there once, and their fries are amazing. The best fries I've ever had. They got a little like sugar in the seasoning or something. I don't know. They are TDF, and it's an adult only place, 21 and up only, and it's a hoot. They just opened a few weeks ago. But that would be, I would just ask him how he processed it, because I was kind of curious. It does help kind of mask the background, which I suspect was probably really busy, and keep your focus right on the nachos, which is good.
I don't know, to me, it seems rather blah, no good contrast. It's just no good blacks, no good whites. Does that seem right to anybody?
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems like it's all mid-tone.
Yeah, I agree. And it just seems like there's too much going on. You have to really look hard at it to see what it is.
But
I think I would have liked to have seen it in color.
Yeah.
But I really think, based on what Holly said, Holly, can you put the place you were talking about in the chat room? Yeah, I think I need to look it up.
No, it's R-rated. Can't do that.
And go check it out. Okay. Thanks, everybody. Okay. Wow. Red Rock Valley.
Okay, this is in Nevada, and I was searching for something, and this sort of caught my eye as I was digging through my old images. So yeah, made sure the sky was pretty dark, and the green vegetation was a bit lighter, and that V-shaped formation sort of brings your eye down to the vegetation. That's all.
So when I saw this, Ralph, I thought it was you'd shot it, used an infrared filter to shoot this.
It might almost give you that look. It's rather similar. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Any feedback for Ralph?
Come on, y'all, speak up.
Did you
Go
put
on
a
now.
Did you put a vignette on it, Ralph? Because it doesn't seem like
Just a
it
little,
on the
it's just
right.
very, very subtle.
I'm wondering about the scale. I don't, the looming rocks up on the left indicate that it might be either really, a heavy, massive rocks, or they could be very small little things. The foliage in the front doesn't give it a sense of, or help it have a sense of space or
scale.
Scale is what I'm trying to say. Yeah.
Well, that was part of the intent, to give it that mystery. Not really.
Well,
no, really, it's a big rock. They're big. I just didn't. I could have pulled back a little bit more.
Well, I don't know. Nice textures, though. Very nice.
Yeah, I was trying for that.
Okay, thanks, Ralph. Okay, Roundup by Brian.
Okay, this is, hope my Spanish is better. Charreada, what the Mexican rodeos taken about pre-pandemic. There's a rodeo arena that they use, and this was one of the riders rounding up, as you can see. Photo really speaks for itself.
Yeah, it tells a story.
And tells a story, right.
I really like how you got both riders and both horses in really crisp focus. That's well done, especially with the moving.
Thank you.
I think
Definitely.
you could maybe lighten their faces just a tiny bit. And that would be my only suggestion.
Say that again, I'm sorry.
Just to lighten their faces just a little bit.
Yes. You
Just
know,
that the hat just doesn't let as much light on their face.
what's amazing, I'm looking at this on my iPad and the faces are really dark, and I'm looking at it on my computer monitor and the faces are not as dark. Huh. It's really amazing to see how different monitors or iPads look as compared to a regular computer monitor. But that's a very good point, Holly. Thank you.
It's a really nice action shot. I like it.
Thank you, Patricia.
Brian, the one comment I'd like to share with you for me is, the two riders are in nice focus, okay, but the horse that they're going after is soft, okay, and I think I would have used one of the Lightroom filters to do a spot enhancement on at least that one eye that you see there, and see if you could have applied some extra sharpness to that eye to give it just a little bit more.
Well, it tells me that horse is really moving, because the audience in the foreground are nice and sharp.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, they are.
Which
good point.
I really like to see those heads down there at the bottom to kind of, gives a relationship to the space in there. Yeah, that horse is pedaling right along.
All righty. All right. Thanks, Brian.
This one's mine. This I just did for sentimental reasons because this is Charlie, our Labradoodle, who we just lost 2 weeks ago, week and a half ago, very unexpectedly. So I wanted to find a good old black and white photo of him. And this one kind of fit the food theme because he had just gotten a goldfish pretzel. So he was doing the yum yum lick. I know there's a lot wrong with it. His tongue's out of focus, but the way his eyes are closed and he's looking just so happy, he's got that expression on his face. It's like, I just wanted to share our sweet doodle. So that's Charlie.
Yeah, that's the mom talking. I understand.
I really like how this image goes from light to dark. You can see the definition of the ear on the right side. I think it's a beautiful homage to your dog. What a wonderful picture. I like the sharpness of the eye. The eyes are closed. And like you said, you can really sense this, that the dog is really enjoying that snack.
Thank you.
A lot of memories with that one, Holly. So thanks for sharing and letting us be part of it.
Well, thank you guys for listening.
Okay, color photos. And I'm not sure exactly how many color photos we have. We should be able to get through all of them. So.
Yeah, I think there are only 8.
Okay, great. Oh, and Eric's not here. So you see the metadata. So who would like to go first and share for Eric?
Well, I like the texture, the detail is excellent. He could have got the tail end of that loaf in there, wouldn't have hurt. Maybe the whole blade of the whole knife. He would have had to have backed up some, but overall, it's a good image. It tells a story.
Okay, anybody else?
I'd like a piece of it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
You're gonna have to ask him where he gets that.
Yeah, the texture is real strong. Good.
The overlapping of the bread could be supplemented by overlapping the blade of the knife coming from the upper right-hand corner. It would be blurred, of course, but the blade itself lying across the cutting board or something like that might have drawn your view, your eyes in from wherever your eyes come from, in toward the bread again. But yeah, otherwise, I like it. That's the problem with shooting bread. The problem I had, I ate everything that I set up to shoot. And so
I hear you.
Okay, thanks, guys. Okay, capturing sunrise at Bryce Canyon. Brian.
This goes back to way back Monday, about 10 years ago, cold morning at Bryce Canyon, and I was with a group. We managed to get a volunteer to go out and stand there so we could take a picture with the low-hanging clouds. It's a very cold morning. It was in the 20s, I think, when I took this. So, any comments?
I think the placement of the subject is perfect, and the amount of sky is just enough. I think you got about as good an image as you could get from that spot.
Thank you.
I have to ask, it's a curiosity question. When you said it was 20, was that handheld? It's very clear and sharp, I thought, for that temperature.
No, No, my fingers would have froze if I would have tried that.
Okay.
No, I used a 3-legged horse. I mean, a
Okay.
tripod.
Yeah, 1/8 of a second. That's pretty long.
Yeah. And that was my first digital camera. So I know it didn't have image stabilization built in.
That's really a great location. I've been there. It's fabulous.
Yeah.
So Brian, I love this picture, and like how close he is to the edge is terrifying. I'm like, oh my gosh, she's gonna fall. And the thing I love the most about this picture is this little spot of orange canyon on the left. And then looking over, I would love it if you changed his jacket color to be that same shade of orange. I think it would just make the picture look so cohesive.
Wow, I hadn't thought of that.
I mean,
That's
orange and red, they're complementary or analogous. So, and the sand that he's standing on has some of those colors in it already. You can really use a little different contrast.
On the
Just a
subject.
suggestion. Everybody's got a different opinion.
Right.
Okay, thanks, everybody. Good
Thanks,
discussion.
y'all.
Okay, Dennis.
Yeah, this was taken in the Grand Teton National Park. It's one of the Mormon homesteads there, and it was in the fall, obviously, and I just like the colors, the trees surrounding the house.
So you amplified some of the warmer tones, I would think.
Yeah, right, I did.
Well, it's a beautiful photo, Dennis. I love the colors. Anybody else have anything they want to share?
Yeah, the white house is just a really strong. Maybe just to tone it down just a little.
Yeah, I could have subdued it a bit.
Great shot, Dennis. Congratulations.
Yeah, this is beautiful.
Okay, thanks, Dennis.
Yep.
And Beverly's not here. So you see the metadata. Go ahead and share what comments you have for Beverly on this one.
.1 millimeter lens. Wow.
7.4.
Or 7.4. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a point and shoot. They have a shorter lens, and it's not a full frame. So that might be equivalent to a 24 millimeter lens if it was a full frame.
Grazie.
And the tonalities is just a little off. Could be a little cooler. Sharpness could be enhanced if you've got some special tools to do that. But it does show the woodwork of this. I suspect it's an ancient church.
Okay, thanks. Ralph, tell us about Red Rock Valley.
Okay, I guess some of you might know what kind of a cactus this is, but anyway, I brought in a background, some clouds for this one. So it doesn't look too bad, it doesn't look too phony. Just like the detail and then with the clouds behind it, it's kind of gave it a little bit more interest.
That's a nice detail, lots of texture.
As long as you don't get in real tight, then you'll see some of the edges don't quite work too well with the background.
Good work, Ralph.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Ralph. Patricia, tell us about the back gate.
Okay, that was at LBJ State Park Historical Site. And that literally was the back gate as you walk out of the house and a little bit to the right. It was just a very peaceful scene to me. I enjoyed it, so I wanted to share.
Wonderful framing with the tree.
Thank
It's
you.
beautifully done.
Would you have tried HDR on that to get just a little more shadow detail?
That would be a good suggestion. I'll try that next time on something like that.
Did you shoot this RAW or JPEG?
Raw.
Well, then you should have had enough data, actually. But yeah, it's a good shot. I like warmer tones. I might have touched it a little bit towards the right to the warmer tone, but it's nice.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Patricia. Holly.
Too much of a good thing. My kids, this is one of the desserts I always have on hand, is just a 6-pack of Hershey bars. And they don't eat them very often, but they're nice to have in the house. And this was, I did this like a couple years ago for Macro Mondays on Flickr. And I think it was either candy or chocolate, one of the two as a theme. And I just set that up on a glass plate and had some kind of silver thingy in the background for the background. That's it.
So Holly, what's the bokeh in front?
Reflections on the glass from the stuff in the background.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the bokehs really make it very interesting. And the subject is well defined, and the softness behind it really separates it well. And that subtle vignette is very good.
Thank you.
Gosh, that makes me want to go out to the store.
Putting on weight just watching.
Thanks, Holly.
You're welcome.
And Albert's not here, and no metadata. Anyone care to share with Albert?
I'll share the cake with him later.
Yeah, that looks delicious, truly.
Holly, does this look like the place the other photo was taken?
Yeah, I think this is Lucy Cooper's.
Oh, well, there's a reason to go.
Their food, their menu is very creative.
He got just the right things out of focus here. It's amazing. Really nice softness and then sharp where you need it.
That cake really stands out with everything being soft and blurred behind it and around it. It's nice, very nice.
It's another one, another good one. Okay. All right, so the theme for April is water. Okay, so good luck with that one, everyone. I'm looking really forward to seeing what everybody comes up with. I do want to remind everybody, here are all the themes for the upcoming months. Okay, so while you're out there looking for that water photo, think about things in the future that you might want to shoot. Also want to let everybody know that we're doing the Wednesday coffee. And this Wednesday, we're going to be at Dunkin' Donuts at Cibolo Valley. which is not very far from the New Braunfels city limits. It's in Cibolo, which is just down the road from you. I hope you can come out and share a cup of coffee and maybe partake in a donut or two. But it's Wednesday from 8 a.m. to pretty much whenever we get ready to leave. Okay.
Got a question for
Sure.
you. Can you explain the difference between street photography and urban photography?
Street and urban. Right now, I can't, because I would need to see if there's really whoever submitted urban, what the intent behind it was. Okay, maybe we didn't explain it good enough, but Holly, you got an idea?
Anything pertaining to the city life instead of country life.
Oh, okay.
That's my interpretation, but I think, street photography is you're literally walking down the street taking photos you see, and that's usually has people in them. I think urban can just be anything more modern, related to cities and structures and things. But I think that's something we could visit about at the next board meeting and get those definitions more clearly outlined and get that out to the club.
That's pretty clear. Thank you.
If I can mention one thing, on the last meeting, I stated that you could do, the stacking in Lightroom. Lightroom does have a stacking feature, but it's not the stacking that we want. You have to go to Lightroom to get the stacking that we're thinking of. If that makes it any clearer, because stacking in Lightroom, it just puts several images together in a stack, like a stack of cards. Then you can go back later and spread them out again. But normally stacking is taking different focal points of the same image to get a greater depth of field. And that has to be done in Lightroom. So I just wanted to correct myself.
In Lightroom or Photoshop, Ralph?
Photoshop to do
Okay.
the stacking.
Okay, so focus stacking in Photoshop, Lightroom, multiple pictures of the same thing can be stacked on top of each other, so that it doesn't take up as much space in the portfolio. Is that right, Ralph?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thanks for that clarification. Okay. Anybody else got anything for the good of the order?
I just have one thing. I put it in the comments. So the San Antonio River Authority is having their annual River Clicks photo contest. And submissions run through May 31st, and they have 5 categories.
Okay, thanks, Suzanne.
Thank you, Suzanne. I added that to the website while we were sitting here tonight, so we can have that in our upcoming events too. Appreciate it. And if
Okay.
anyone ever hears of any calls for entry, especially in Central Texas, let us know, and I'll can push that out to the club.
Okay, and I got one thing. I'm checking to see who the organization is that's doing this, but it's being sponsored by Tamron. And it's photos taken in national parks. Okay, so there's a contest open, and winning photos have a chance to get Tamron lenses. Okay, I'll share once I verify who the source is. If I still think it's credible, I'll share that information in some type of post. Okay, but right now it's looking pretty good. And Anthony, you still with us?
He had to leave earlier.
Okay, all right. And Suzanne?
Yes.
Okay. You had said you were willing to help with the kids photography tournament back in Fall in Art. I know it's been a while since then. Has your situation changed, or would you still be able to participate?
I would like to participate. We can, maybe talk one-on-one. I'm not sure how much of a commitment it is. But yeah, if it's just like a day or two, I can definitely do that.
Okay, great. I'll reach out to you in the next couple of days. Okay.
Okay, I just saw a whole bunch of dates there, so I wasn't sure how much of a time commitment it was.
Okay. Yeah. I'll reach out and we can talk about it.
Okay.
Yeah, Victor, fall into art. I can probably help you with that.
Okay. Well, you talking Fall into Art, or you talking about the kids photography tournament? Because the kids photography tournament is in May.
I was talking about fall into art.
Okay, not sure what we're doing for Fall into Art. The Art Council has not come up with what they plan to do yet. As soon as they do, I'll let everybody know, but I'll keep you in mind, Ralph. All right, thanks, everybody. And we are at the end of the meeting. So Holly, you want to go ahead and stop recording and